What's up, Solar family? What's going on? How are you? It's James here. What's up? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Super excited to talk about the topic for today and to help you with any questions that you have, whether you're getting started in solar or you already are in solar and you want to scale your business, or maybe you're a contractor, a home improvement contractor that wants to add solar in your book of business. I'm super excited to jump on live with you. So today we're talking about lead generation, right? Lead generation. So whether you watch me live or you're on a replay, say what's up, say hello. Let me know where you're tuning in from, right? And if you have any questions, regardless if it's live or you're on a replay, type your questions in. I'll love to answer any questions you have. And again, if you haven't scheduled your solar strategy call yet, make sure you book your solar strategy call at solarstrategycall.com, right? Solarstrategycall.com. Just a heads up as well, we are going to be launching a software really, really soon, right? We're going to help a lot more people in this industry make a whole lot more money in the solar industry with our new software, right? Because we're going to have multiple streams of income for you within that software. Not only are you going to be able to sell solar in our software, you're going to be able to make 6 other streams of income. Okay. 6 other streams of income, which is amazing because you guys already know, right? It's amazing when you're closing deals, but if it slows down a little bit, you have a slow month for whatever reason, you still have income coming in. We have ways in our software where it's more passive as well. So for example, if you have your overhead is $5,000, imagine having that overhead paid for every single month, right? And not worrying about trying to hustle for that $5,000 every single month, whatever your overhead is. And now the extra deals or the deals that you're closing is extra for you. Imagine that. Imagine if your solar deals, which is extra money for you, right? But yeah, super excited. Again, if you haven't booked your solar strategy call yet, make sure you book your call, solarstrategycall.com, solarstrategycall.com. Okay. Super, super excited. So today I'm going to talk about lead generation, multiple ways to generate solar leads. And I'm going to talk about free ways, like free, no cost. And I'm also going to talk about paid ways. Okay. Paid. Ideally, you should transition eventually into paid strategies, right? But I know in the beginning, especially when you're starting out, it may be a little bit tough to, pay for ad spend, right? So it may be a little bit tough in the beginning, but no worries, right? No worries. So I want to go over free strategies, right? And the most popular one, as you guys already know, is door to door. Okay, door to door. That is going to be free, absolutely free for you financially. It's not necessarily free because you are using your time. Okay. So again, sometimes you have to literally value your time, put value to your time. It's nice that you have to pay for it financially right now, but you are paying with your time when you're knocking on doors. And eventually, when you start making finances, and if you have an exit strategy like we teach our Solar University students, eventually you want to transition into trading your time for leads to trading your finances for leads. Okay. Eventually. And what we tell our students as well is when you're out the door, a lot of questions come up and like they ask, or new consultants ask, or new students ask, like, how long, right? How long should I be out there? Okay. How long? That's probably be the top of the question. How long? Obviously the pitch and things like that is important as well, but it's always going to be like, how long should I be out there for? So the answer to that is very, very simple. Okay. Very, very simple. And the time that you should be out there is basically based on how many conversations you're having. So ideally you should have 10 conversations, not like, hey, how are you? This is James. And then, you go through the pitch and they close the door in your face. That's not a conversation. A conversation equals to a full pitch, meaning that you got your whole pitch out. Okay. From start to finish, you got the whole entire pitch out. That's going to be one conversation. And the idea is to have 10 of those when you're out there knocking doors. And depending on your skill level, if you're having 10 full conversations, you're going to get at least 1 to 2 consultations out of it. Okay. So a lot of people kind of base it on time. Like, I'm going to go out there for 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. Yeah, that's great. But you end up spinning your wheels as well. And you get a little frustrated because you're going to start finding out that, if you base it on time and you're out there 4 or 5 hours a day and you're not necessarily having conversations, you're going to get disappointed. You're like, oh, this is not working. But in reality, you're just not following the right or tracking the right metric. Okay. You have to track how many conversations you're having at the door. Okay. You have to have at least 10 conversations. So that also comes down to like, how much time is that going to take? And that all depends on you. Okay. Depending on your skill level, depending on the area that you're in, depending on the time of day that you're out there. It could be 2-3 hours, or it could be longer than that. But the idea is to have 10 conversations and don't go home until you have 10 conversations, whether that takes you 2 hours or it takes you 5 or 6. And the idea is to have and hit that metric of 10 conversation every single time you're out there at the door. And obviously you got to be consistent at it, because a lot of folks are not necessarily consistent. So my suggestion to you as well, not only to track that particular metric in your door-to-door, right, activities, is make sure that you have your calendar is already planned out as well, meaning that you blocked off time on your calendar to knock on doors. Because what happens is, for me personally, if I don't block off time on my calendar, it's not going to happen, right? But everything that I want to do for the day, for example, I'll show you guys my schedule. This is my schedule for today. It's Wednesday, right? That's my schedule for today. That was my schedule yesterday. And that was my schedule on Monday, right? Everything is on here, even down to, my training is on here, who I'm paying, right? If I owe people money, if I need to take a break, I have like this little red one over here. Take a break every day. It's going to be the same spot. Take a break. Because what happens is, if you don't like put it in your calendar, more than likely, for me personally, it's not going to happen. So if I have appointments, if I'm going to do door-to-door activities, which I don't do anymore, but again, if I was to go knock on doors, it's going to be blocked off my calendar. Just like the live training that I'm having every single day with you guys is blocked off on my calendar, because if I don't block it on my calendar, guess what? It's just not going to happen. Okay. I just get busy. I forget. We're all human. We're all human beings. Again, my suggestion is to put it on your calendar. Does that make sense? Okay. So other ways, right? Sorry, I'm getting a call. Other ways to generate leads where it's free, right? Free ways, right? Free, meaning that you don't have to spend with your finances, but obviously it's not really free. You're going to have to spend and use up your time. Okay. A lot of people think, it's free, but you're literally using your most valuable asset, which is your time. But again, you're going to have to do what you got to do in the beginning, especially if you don't have, ad spend money. If you don't have a budget for ads, you're going to have to do what you got to do. Okay. Farmers markets. Okay. Farmers markets. That's also a good opportunity in a cheap way. You may have to spend some finances there. So it's not necessarily completely free. I lied to you. It's not necessarily completely free, but you're going to have to spend a little bit of money to get into a farmer's market so you can set up a table. Okay. Those also work. Obviously, may not be the time of year right now, depending on where you're at. I know some parts, like here in Texas and the West Coast, it's still okay to be outside. It's not so cold. But you may be in certain parts of the country where you're in the East Coast of Missouri or New York, or a certain part of the state or country where it's snowing. May not be possible, right? May not be possible. So make sure that you plan for it, though. Okay. If you can't do it right now, make sure you start Googling farmers markets and get on the list. Be more proactive. Get on the list. Call the folks that's organizing those farmers markets. Get on the list. Maybe you have to pay a deposit, sometimes like $50 or $100. Get on the list. So at least when they are having the farmers markets, you're already on the list. And what you want to do, again, put it on your calendar. If you have a separate calendar, I just moved again to a different home. So we have a calendar where we put like, what do you call it? Sticky notes. And you could color code the sticky notes. Say, for example, the blue one are your farmers markets, right? Maybe certain colors are different activities, different events that you're doing. Maybe, you put a yellow one for different conferences that you can do throughout the year. It's just a really good visual for you to plan out, your activities and what you're doing. Because a lot of folks in this industry, they're not planning out their activities, right? They just kind of go and just hope and pray something will happen. They're just like a leaf in the wind, kind of just blowing all over the place, right? It blows one direction and the wind blows in the other direction. It just blows in another direction. Okay. You have to be really intentional and plan out what you guys are doing. Does that make sense, everybody? Farmers markets work. So make sure you guys do that. The other thing too is those BNI meetings, right? There's those networking meetings. It's called BNI. The only thing is they only allow a certain amount of people in there in a certain amount of industry. Okay. So check it out in your local market. Maybe there's some BNI meetings as well. You guys can get involved in those kind of meetings. Okay. But yeah, those are the ones I suggest. Obviously as well, let me give you another one. Solar parties, right? So solar parties, it's basically when you close a deal and ideally it's at install. So as the crew is out there installing solar systems, you set up a table, you maybe barbecue some hamburgers, some hot dogs, they're fairly cheap. Put up a tent out there, and obviously some of these are going to be seasonal type of things, right? You may not be able to do it right now, depending on where you're at. Some parts again, the West Coast, you should be able to still do it. Solar parties is amazing. When I used to work for Solar City, we really pushed on solar parties. Okay, set aside a little bit of budget. I mean, it's probably going to cost you under $100. Get some hot dogs and some hamburgers, and go out there and grill some, right? And the idea is to let the homeowner know, hey, I'm going to have a solar party. Invite your friends and your family over. Ideally, it should be on a weekend. And then from there, you can kind of show off the installation, things that's happening. Ideally, if they're also inviting all their friends and family, obviously they're eating. And then from there, you're going to let the homeowner know, because obviously, they're going to ask, like, what do I get out of it? You could give them a referral, right? So every single person that signs up, maybe you give them a $250 referral incentive, $500, whatever that may be. Okay. Solar parties do work. And then the last one, this is probably the most important one, right? Because we're talking about leads, are referrals. Okay. Write these things down. So I gave you guys 5 ideas right now, right? Door to door, farmers market, BNI meetings, solar parties, and referrals. Okay. Do me a favor. For those of you guys that are watching me this video right now, which one works west for you? Where are you getting results? Maybe you're doing one of these activities or multiple of these activities. Where are you getting results? Type in the comments, what are you currently doing right now to get leads? It may fall in, I'm pretty sure it'll probably fall in one of these, right? So referrals are going to be super, super important, because I mentioned this a few days ago, and I'm going to continue to mention this to everybody. 30%, right? 30% of your deals should be coming from referrals. Okay. So if you close 10 deals this month, more than likely 3 of those came from referral. Okay. That's how it normally works. If you close 20 deals this month, that means that 6 of those came from referrals. It's going to be super, super important for you to literally roll out the red carpet, give these homeowners a white glove treatment, and they're going to refer you. Because if they love the experience, right? It's always going to be customer experience. What is their experience? And if they love the experience, they're going to refer you. Okay. Just like when, folks go to Chuck E. Cheese or to any type of place to be entertained, right? If they love the experience, they're going to come back. They're going to tell their friends and family about it. Hey, this place was amazing. If they don't love the experience and they didn't get a good feeling of during the experience, or didn't have a good experience, it goes the same exact way. They're going to tell their friends and family that, hey, I didn't have a good experience. Don't go solar. And that kind of just ruins it for everybody. Okay. Good morning. Good morning, solar family. How are you guys? Okay. Hopefully this is making sense, right? So again, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are 5 strategies right there. It may require you to, pull out a little bit of finance out of your pocket. You may have to pay a little bit, but it's not much, right? Door to door obviously is absolutely free. But when you're at the door, you have to be really systematic in what you're doing. Because imagine 90+% of homeowners, maybe 95% of them are not going to be interested. But what we teach our students at the door is to have a system, to have a software like Solar Pipeline, for example. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, go check it out, solarpipeline.com, solarpipeline.com. You guys check it out, book a demo. If it's Solar Pipeline, right? Not only are you going to get amazing installers, if you guys are looking for installers, if you're looking for training, if you're looking for like purchase leads or data to cold call, all of that is in Solar Pipeline. But more importantly, if you guys are doing door to door, there should be a strategy at the door. Obviously, you have a pitch. That's a strategy. A pitch is a strategy, right? And hopefully you guys aren't winging your strategies. You guys aren't winging it, right? It's not going to work. Winging it is not going to work. Okay. So you should have a proven pitch that already works at the door. And obviously 90+% of homeowners are just not going to be interested, which is absolutely cool. So just let them know, no worries. Let me send you some information. So at least, they're armed with information. What's your email? And I'll send you information. Guess what happened there? Right? Guess what happened there? And that's so like smooth and non-abrasive. It's easy. What happened is you got a lead, right? Because the idea at the door is you're trying to get a lead, right? Think about it. And the definition of people's leads sometimes is a solar consultation. Yes, that is the overall goal. A solar consultation is the goal. The objective at the door, okay? Let me clear this up. The objective at the door is to get a lead. Okay? So write this down real quick. The objective of the door at the door is to get a lead, right? And the goal with that lead equals an appointment. Does that make sense, everybody? The objective at the door is to get a lead. So meaning that, okay, if I know now that my objective at the door is to get a lead and the overall goal is to get an appointment, right? Hold on 1 second. My team's texting me. So that means that if you got a lead and you got all the information, electric bills, you booked the appointment, that means that you achieved the objective and you also achieved the goal, right? So you did 2 things, both things. And if you got someone's information and said, hey, no worries, seems like I caught you at a bad time. Let me get your information. And then from there, let me give you information. You got a lead still, right? You still obtained and achieved the objective, which is to get a lead. Obviously, you didn't achieve the goal yet. Okay. You didn't achieve the goal, but you achieved the objective. Because imagine, right, you're able to get more people to give you their information. And then now you have a system like Solar Pipeline that's going to cultivate the relationship, that's going to shoot out email messages, they're going to shoot out text messages. And you already know, right? The folks at the door are not interested, but they're just not interested like right now. Okay. Keep that as the mindset. Not interested, totally understand, right? That just means when they tell me not interested, in my mind is already saying not interested right now. I don't hear the not interested, it's just not interested right now. Okay. And if knowing that, if you're taking in that information and they said not interested and you just add on not right now, and knowing that information, let me get your information so I can give you information. So when you are interested, guess what? The objective is you are top of mind. Okay. The objective is that you're top of mind every single time somebody is thinking about going solar because you already knocked on the door. You have a strategy on capturing information because you're a relationship builder. Okay. A lot of people just want to hit people up at the door, signing up for consultation out of the United States. Oh, well, I'm going to the next one. I'm going to the next one. I'm going to the next one. Boom. They get a consultation and they're just burning through leads and they don't even know it. Okay. Yesterday we talked about, how much money you're leaving on the table because you're not, top of mind yesterday because the homeowners that you sat down with, 50% are not going to move forward at the coffee table or on a Zoom. But what happens is we kind of forget about them and we move on to the next homeowners. And in a year, you're probably losing $90,000 if you're having 10 consultations every single month. That's a potential $90,000 that you're losing. Same exact thing at the door. Okay. Same exact thing as the door. I'm just going to take some notes real quick. Is this making sense? Is this making sense? Just type in yes if this is making sense. Just type in yes, whether you're watching me a replay or watching it live, this is making sense, okay? So knowing that information now, make sure that you have a system when you are at the door because, again, think about it, right? You want to be as efficient, as effective as possible because now you're using your most valuable asset, which is your time, and you want to be as most efficient as possible. Because when you're running ads, you're using your finances, right? Yeah, you're using your finances, but again, you can always make more money, right? You can always make more money, but you already know you can't get back time again, right? You can't get back time again. So your job at the door is to be as efficient, as effective as possible. And a lot of people, because they don't value their time, they're like, it's free anyway, right? I'm just going to keep on knocking. And I'm going to go out there. I'm going to keep knocking. And they're out there hours and hours and hours. They're kind of spinning their wheels and they're not maximizing their time because they're not efficient because they don't have a strategy. Okay. So I'm teaching you guys the right ways, the right strategy, even if you're knocking on doors. Does that make sense, everybody? But you're going to have to pay not only with your time, you're also going to have to pay with your finances by creating these systems, like signing up for Solar Pipeline, using technology to help you close more deals. I cannot stress that enough. A lot of people wants to make hundreds of thousands of dollars, but they don't want to implement back into their business. They don't want to reinvest money back into their business to grow. Okay. They're not reinvesting back. I reinvest a lot of money back into my business. A lot of money, even if I want toys and nicer things like materialistic things. I'm holding off. And I'm growing my business because I know if I put the focus and I put the finances to grow my business, the intention to grow my business, then eventually that's going to bear more fruits. Rather than say, for example, if I bought, another Tesla and spent, $100,000 and on a depreciating value, right? And that doesn't necessarily make me money. It actually kind of does because I make videos out of these vehicles. So it does technically make me money. But again, it's just one of those things that, think about it. If it's not making you money, it's debt, right? It's depreciating value. Just learn how to reinvest money back into your business. Because there's so many people in this industry, they just don't quite understand, which is cool. Maybe no one's coaching them on how to really grow a business or a big business or a bigger business. And what happens is they're just making money. They're making 5, 10, 15 grand a month. They're closing, 3, 4, 5 deals. They're making good money, but they're not investing back into their business to grow the business even bigger, to make it more efficient, right? And unfortunately, that's what's happening in the market right now. And the idea with the live training I'm teaching you guys, I'm literally spending my time with you guys to help you grow your business. because I want to be a small part of your success in the end of 2023 and help you change your financial future this year. Okay. And I'm telling you guys what you need to do. And it's up to you to understand and get the information and implement what I'm telling you guys to do. Because this is what I do in my business and this is how we've grown. Okay. Does that make sense, everybody? Hopefully that's making sense. Okay. So make sure that you check out Solar Pipeline. I'm actually going to post a link as well. Hold on. Let me help you guys a little bit more. I'm going to post a link in the chat. It's the Solar Pipeline. Get on a demo. Go check it out. Okay. Use the strategy I'm teaching you. I'm just going to grab the link really quickly. There it is. Okay. There it is. All right. Now it's up to you to implement what I'm teaching you guys. Okay, so those are the free ways, right? Obviously, you're gonna have to spend a little bit, but most of the time, for the most part, it's free. Okay. So now I want to talk about the paid ways, and this is what I like. Okay. The paid ways is what I prefer because again, it's going to require finances, but it doesn't require my time. Okay. It doesn't require my time because what happens is a lot of folks, again, they're not valuing their time and they're like, hey, knocking doors is for free, but it's not for free because you're literally using your most valuable asset, which is your time. Okay. Because you can't buy back time. The only way you buy back time is literally have the finances to run ads. And then now instead of knocking doors, you're running ads, right? And now you're getting leads into your pipeline, like Solar Pipeline, right? We can help you generate leads through Solar Pipeline as well. We have a marketplace where you can buy leads, you can buy data. That's another thing I'm going to talk about here as well, kind of jumping ahead. But the idea is have an exit plan from the door. Maybe it'll take you 3 or 4 months to do this, which is absolutely cool. Be at the door, and ideally, you should have the right commissions, right commission structure as well. Great red lines, right company. Install time should be amazing, right? Company is going to be important as well for referrals. So when you have that exit plan from the door, now you have 30% of those commissions. You should be setting that aside. Now you have money to run ads. So I'm not going to tell you to completely stop knocking doors when you first start running ads. Okay. That's not a good advice. The best advice for you, the best advice is to continue to knock doors, go buy leads. And then now the leads is just supplemental. There's extra. And maybe within, your first ad campaign, maybe second ad campaign, now you're getting an additional 2 or 3 deals out of it. Maybe 1 at first, then it becomes 2, then 3. And once the ads replace your current income or current leads and income at the door, then now you can think about transitioning out. But for the most part, try to double it up, right? You're running ads and you're also knocking doors and you're doubling it up for a little bit. Don't quit door to door right away. Even if you already, even though the money that you're making with running ads is equivalent to door, I'll just do both for a little bit, right? Double the income, do that for 2 or 3 months, right? So now you're probably in the 6-month mark, right around there in the business. I mean, that's still fairly new, right? Imagine you're in the 6-month mark, you're closing, say, 8 to 10 deals a month. I mean, that's pretty amazing income, right? 8 to 10 deals a month. That's pretty amazing. I mean, think about it. I mean, you're making 10 deals a month at, say, $5,000 a deal. I mean, that's $50,000. That's $600,000 a year. Okay, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. When I was selling solar, and that's all I did, like full time, 7 years ago, or almost 8 years ago now, I was closing 10 to 15 deals a month. Our quota, right? Our quota was 10 deals every single month, or we didn't have a job at Solar City. It was 10, right? It was 10. I was closer to like 15, 12, 15 consistently. My best was like probably 17, 18 deals, somewhere around there. Okay. Yep. So basically, Salvatore said that I don't like promoting solar to my friends and family via social media all the time. I feel like I'm beating them over the head. I don't know. Where should I buy leads? Straight up. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, the idea with social media, you don't want to beat people on the head with it, right? A lot of people are not strategic. Okay. You're not strategic with social media. You see people posting, hey, I'm here to install. That's great, right? But mix it all up. Mix it all up. And the idea with social media is always going to be attraction marketing. And I'm kind of going off topic here, but I want to address Salvatore's question or comment. It's always going to be attraction marketing, right? You don't want to ever beat people in the head with it, because with attraction marketing, it's going to take a little bit of time to attract the right people. Meaning that you have content out there, consistent content, and write these things down, consistent content, not just one time or 10 times that you're posting, like every time you're at the homeowner's house, right? Or at an install, that's all you're doing. Install, install, install. Or, when you're at the homeowner's house, you're, Mr. and Miss Smith, got a picture, right? With a homeowner. Yes, those are great. You have to mix them all up. Okay. Because what happens is you're going to have to attract, right? You're going to have to attract people. And not everybody's attracted to a picture with a homeowner like this, right? Another client going solar. Some people will. Okay. Not everyone is going to like the photo of the guy or the installers in the roof. I'm a homeowner's house, install day, right? So not everyone's going to like, I did a $500 check, right? That $500 check, I'm here with a homeowner with a $500 check, right? You have to mix it all up, right? With also your lifestyle, what you're doing, right? It's literally attraction marketing. And obviously, you don't want to beat people on the head with solar. That's not what you want to do. So the idea with social media as well, just to quickly answer Salvatore's question here, and a way to be more strategic if you guys aren't doing this already. When you start solar, and to prevent people to be like, to stop following you because the only thing you're talking about is solar, create a group. Okay. Write this thing down. Create a group where you ask people in your page, in your personal page, that, hey, I'm creating a group. It's all solar only for homeowners. Do me a favor. If you're a homeowner, come follow me over there. Because the most annoying thing is some folks that are also consistently posting solar, 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 solar. And say, for example, if I didn't have a home, I'm like, dude, the only thing this guy's posting is about solar. Okay. So when you got a group, then you could post all solar over there because it's a solar group. And whoever joins you over there, they already know what the content's going to be, which is going to be solar. Does that make sense? And if you're going to stay on your personal page, just change it all up, right? Change it all up. And I'm not too sure what you mean by beating over the head with, solar, but ideally, right? Ideally, your friends and family that own a home, those are the first ones that should go solar. Okay. The reason why they're not going solar with you is, and I'm not saying you, Salvatore, just in general, the only reason why they're not probably going solar with you is you're not approaching them the right way. Because ideally, when I got started in solar, guess who were my first maybe 5 to 8 clients? It was my friends, my family, my own home, right? My mother-in-law, my parents, right? Those were my first probably 8 deals. And obviously, I approached it the right way. I didn't just beat them over the head with it. I didn't just solar vomit on them. I didn't call them up like, oh, yeah, I'm going to lock in your rates. And you know about this, that, and the other. Constant rates going up and you're tied to a lifetime contract. And no, right? There's a proper way. So again, it's all about attraction, right? When you're reaching out to people, that's attraction marketing, whether you know it or not, right? You could be repelling them by the things that you say, or you could be attracting them with things you say. And a lot of times we call in this industry, we solar vomit, give them everything, right? And they're just like, whoa, 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 this is way too much to consume. and they just get turned off rather get turned on by it. Okay. So there's a proper way. And again, if you feel like you're beating your friends and family over the head with solar, then something is not being done right there. Because at the end of the day, you already know this is good for them. So I always use this analogy because I got a lot of kids. If I knew that taking these vitamins, and my wife is more diligent at this, she does this more than I do. If I know that, providing or giving my kids these daily vitamins every single day is going to be good for them, guess what I'm going to be doing and my wife's going to do? We're going to beat them over the head with the vitamin until they keep taking it because we know it's good for them. So if you know it's good for people, it's not necessarily beating over the head. Maybe it's a mindset shift. Because if you know it's good for people, it's not necessarily beating over the head with it. It's like really you're passionate about it because you know you could help them. Okay? Being pushy and passionate, it's two different things. Okay? Does that make sense? Pushy and passionate is two different things. Hopefully this is making sense. And for some reason, my internet's kind of sketch. Hold on 1 second. Let me know if this is making sense. I'm just making some notes really quick for myself. Okay. My connection is unstable. Can you guys see me okay? Hear me okay? Do me a favor, guys. Can you hear? Just somebody say yes if you guys can see and hear me okay? Because it says my connection is unstable. Just type in yes. Anybody? If you guys can see me, hear me okay, type in yes. Yeah, I'm not sure if my connection is screwed up. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you. So being pushy and passionate is two different things, okay? So if you're too pushy because we're solar vomiting on them, and then it feels like we're pounding them over the head, right? But when they feel and hear the passion in your voice rather than being pushy, then that's going to be two different things, right? Because now they're like, okay, this person's really passionate about this, not pushy. They're really passionate about this thing. Let me listen to such and such, to James, to Salvatore, because they're really passionate about it. Okay. Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Don't confuse my passion, my enthusiasm for earning your business with pressure. Yeah, because for me personally, I'm passionate about this. I am passionate about helping people like yourself, like really change your financial future in your life in the solar industry. This is all I think of every single day. Besides my family, I'm literally thinking about business and how can we help the market like yourself? How can we help you guys, right? And provide you guys the training, the knowledge, the tools, the mindset to really be successful in solar. Okay. Okay, so we kind of went on a tangent there. Just I want to address that. So, as far as Salvatore's really quick, where should I buy leads? Book a call, solarstrategycall.com. We'll show you. Because what happens is, I don't want to just promote companies here. We generate leads. There's a few people that I know in the industry that produces results. And there's a few companies there's few companies in the industries as well back in the day to produce results, and not so much results now. So I don't like to promote anybody like in a video that sits in YouTube forever, because anything can change. You guys know this, right? Anything changes. I made a video about, the best installers that I recommend. And I got a lot of heat from it because I say, hey, you know what? I'm not going to reveal it here, but reach out to me and I would reveal it with you guys. But they're like, well, how come you don't reveal it here? Because what happens is the same exact thing, right? I mean, if I recommend somebody in this video that lives on YouTube forever, that installer may be amazing today, which is, January 11th, 2023. But how about January 11th, 2024, if they're not so great anymore? And it's housed in YouTube, and I'm promoting somebody or someone, and I know the volatility of this industry. I'm not going to set you guys up for that, right? I'm going to set you guys up for failure because things change all the time. Okay. Things change all the time. So ideally, right, as far as like promote, like who do I recommend? If you guys want to know, make sure you guys book a solar strategy call, right? Solarstrategycall.com. Or you guys can check out Solar Pipeline as well, solarpipeline.com. You can buy leads there as well. We have leads there where it's like data. You could just buy data, right? It's fairly reasonable. We could give you hundreds of data, which are homeowners. Definitely cold data. But for me personally, and I'm kind of going off topic really quickly, but for me personally, when you're knocking on doors, that's cold data. If you give me data to cold call, that's cold data. To me, they're both called cold data. But depending on the season, like right now, some parts of the country, there's a lot of snow and it's freaking freezing. So I'd rather call cold data, than go knock on cold data, outside. Does that make sense? I'm gonna pick the least of the two evils. You know what I mean? So, which is gonna be sitting at home calling people. Okay. Um. So ad spend, right? So meaning that you should set aside 30% of your commission for ad spend. Okay. Or just in general for marketing. Because also, if you're sending out gifts to homeowners and things like that after install, that's marketing, right? So ideally, if you made 10 grand, put $3,000 aside. Just put it aside to grow your business. Okay. Sometimes it's hard, right? Sometimes it's hard to put money aside because you want to buy something. You're making all this money. You want to buy something, which is cool. You eventually going to buy something, but you're going to have to just hold off for a little bit longer. Let's grow the nest egg even more. And then from there, you can buy something even bigger and better if you just hold off a little longer. Okay. So set aside 30% for ad spend. Whether you're having a company run ads for you. And again, these are the things that if you have questions, you're probably like, well, what companies do you recommend, James? Obviously, I'm not diving in deep. This is like high level information. Make sure to book the solar strategy call, right? And we could dive in a little bit deeper. Whether you're having like an agency run ads for you, we can do that as well, right? We can run ads for you. You have an ad spend, whatever that may be, $1,000, 2,000, 20,000, or whatever it is. We'll run ads for you. Or instead of you running ads, you just buy leads. Okay. You buy leads. And I really want to touch on this really quickly. And I only have a few more minutes with you guys. But when you're buying leads, just be careful, right? When you're buying leads, you got to be really strategic when you're buying leads. First and foremost, make sure that your CRM and your lead management software like Solar Pipeline is tight. Meaning that the follow-up sequences, the text messages, email messages that's going to go out to your homeowners is tight. Meaning that when you get a lead, it goes directly into the software. It goes directly into your system. Not goes directly into your email. That's great. Get a notification that you got a new lead. But when I see this all the time, and I honestly feel this is why people fail. One reason why a lot of people that buy leads from lead generation companies fail is because they buy an ad spend, whatever that may be, $1,000, $5,000. They're getting leads, not ad spend, sorry. They have ad spend money and they're buying leads and they're getting these leads directly into their email. And what they're doing is they're transferring it over to an Excel spreadsheet. And that's how they're managing their leads. Email, Excel spreadsheet. Email, Excel spreadsheet. And you're leaving so much more money on the table. And that's not the way to manage these leads, especially if you're paying for them. Okay. You're paying for these leads. Make sure that they're being nurtured and make sure that you're managing them correctly. Ideally, use Solar Pipeline. Those leads go directly into your pipeline. And then from there are proven, and this is going to be key, proven email, text messages as it goes out to these homeowners to start building their relationship with these homeowners. Okay. Because they're not going to move forward. Not all of them is going to move forward right now. Okay. Just let you guys know. And you guys should know this already. Not all of them is going to move forward right now. But knowing that, again, having that mindset, it's not a no, it's a no, not it's just a not right now mindset that okay, I got all these people now, right, in my pipeline. If I'm able to manage these leads correctly, when I know that it's not just not right now mentality, when they are ready, guess who they're calling? You. They're not reaching out to me or Carlos or Chris or Charlie or Damien or Salvatore. We love to get those leads, right? But they're not reaching out to anybody else but you because you have a strategy, a system that you set up, okay? That you set up because you're learning all this information and you're taking action and you're setting these things up for success. That's why a lot of people fail. They don't have a strategy. They don't have a plan. They don't invest in themselves. They don't invest in systems and softwares to do a lot of the heavy lifting for them. Okay? So I'm teaching you guys right now the things that you guys need to really be successful in this industry. And I've already gone through it all. Okay? I've gone through a lot. I don't want to say, oh, let me rephrase myself. I've gone through a lot already. I gone through all the trials and tribulations and spent thousands and thousands of dollars that didn't work. So basically, we're already your crash test dummy. Why go through it yourself? Okay. Let me give you an example. Last week, we had a call, a solar strategy call, and this person was looking to get into solar. And he was completely new. So I gave him all the options how to get into solar, whether it's traditional, working for a solar company, or joining Solar University. And joining Solar University made a lot more sense, but obviously there's an investment. But when you really dissect and decipher and compare the investment at Solar University and how much more money that you're actually going to lose by joining a traditional company, because first and foremost, they're not going to teach you as a close. They're not going to be a closer right away. Maybe some of you guys know this. You're going to be door-to-door canvasser for a while. Then you're making fraction of the commission. But when you just compare side by side how much more money you would lose by going to a traditional company, it just doesn't make sense. And this person told me that, hey, I want to try it for myself. This is what he said. I want to put my hand in the fire. I want to get burned myself. Okay. He wants to put his hands on a hot stove. And I already told him that stove is hot. Don't put your hand on the stove. It's hot. I just got done cooking, but he wants to put his hand on the stove and he wants to burn his hand first. That makes no logical sense. Okay. Does not make logical sense. But again, it's just one of those things that you really have to think about it. And again, I want to bring this up with every single session that I have with you guys. And I want to ingrain this in your brain. There is a COA, which is the cost of action, COA. Cost of action versus a COI. And I learned this from my wife. COI is the cost of inaction. Okay. You have to really evaluate this in your life when you're making decisions. What is my cost of action versus my cost of inaction? Meaning the cost of action is, say, for example, $5,000. And the cost of inaction, meaning that if I do nothing, the potential income that I can make could be hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars. So if the cost of inaction outweighs the cost of action, then you're going to have to take action. You're going to have to bite the bullet and be like, shoot, I don't have any finances right now, but it's time to sell some shit. Right? I'm going to sell my car. Maybe I got 2 of them. I'm selling one. I got like 4 or 5 bikes in the garage. I don't need one. I'm the only one riding it. I got these like $2,000-$3,000 bikes. I'm not saying I do, but some folks do. We got a lot of things that we can sell to reinvest back into ourselves, because you understand the COA, which is the cost of action, versus the cost of inaction. Okay. It does sometimes does not make sense logically. And if you need to make a logical decision, not an emotional decision, think about the COA versus the COI when you're making these types of decisions. If you want to make a logic decision. Okay. Sometimes it's not going to be like someone's going to hype you up. You're like, oh, it's an emotional, like, oh my gosh, this is it. I'm so excited because James got me excited. Sometimes it's not going to be excitement. If you want to make a logical decision, use that equation. Does that make sense? Use that equation. I'm kind of going off topic here, but again, it's just one of those things that set aside 30%. Ideally, purchase leads. Okay, and then the most important thing as well. These two are really important. If you're thinking about buying leads, these two are going to be really, really important. First and foremost, make sure you have that machine set up. Okay. And if you don't have these two ready or set up, don't even buy leads. Okay. I'm just letting you guys know, don't buy any leads unless you have these things set up. First and foremost, you have to have a lead management tool like Solar Pipeline. Okay. Not only can you manage your deals or your leads through Solar Pipeline, you can buy it right through Solar Pipeline, right? You can buy the leads, you can buy data right in Solar Pipeline, solarpipeline.com, or you type it in there. I'll type it in again here in the chat. Don't buy any leads, okay, until these two things are in place. Make sure that you're writing this down, because I don't want you to lose out on finances and opportunities because you don't have these two things in place. The first one is make sure you have that lead management tool. I recommend Solar Pipeline. Okay, solarpipeline.com. I put it in the chat there. That's one. The second thing is, right, don't use all your money. If you only have $5,000, and ideally it's going to cost you a couple of $1,000s to get high quality leads. And don't get afraid. A lot of people get a little afraid. They're like, oh my gosh, $5,000. Yes, they may sound like a lot now, but it won't be in the future for you, right? Because think about it. If you're putting $5,000 in, again, COI, right? What is the return on that investment? Okay. But obviously, you probably already crunched the return on investment. That's pretty easy to calculate. If you're putting in one, you're getting 3 all day long. Okay. 1, 3 all day long, 1, 2 all day long, 1 and 1.5 return all day long. Okay. You put in 1,000, you get 1,500 all day. The great thing with social media, with buying leads, it's scalable. You just put more fuel to the fire, but that's not an important thing. What I said was don't go all in. Okay. You guys play poker? Does anybody here play poker? You guys play Texas Hold'em? Right? Anybody play poker? Type in me. If you play poker, type in me. Or if you play poker ever, type in me. Okay? So you don't want to go all in. Okay? You don't want to go all in. You want to be really strategic. If you're going all in, if you're going over the bluff, if you're not a good bluffer, more than likely your chances of losing all your money is going to be highly probable. Okay? So you don't want to go all in. Meaning that same exact thing with leads. You don't want to go all in when you're buying leads. Say, for example, the ad spends $5,000. I'm just going to give you an example. And ideally, it's right around this price point, right? If you only have $5,000 in the bank, or you have to borrow $5,000 from a credit card and you don't have anything else but this last credit card that has $5,000, or you have to borrow money from your family, your friends to get the $5,000 ad spend, don't do it. Okay? Don't do it. Because the people that you talk to, even us, right? We're really smooth at selling you stuff because at the end of the day, we are salespeople. But we're not going to take your money if this is your situation, meaning that you're going all in. Don't go all in, right? Because what happens is, and some of you guys may be gamblers, you want to go all in, that's on you, right? What happens is if you're going all in and you're putting all your money into ad spend, and it's literally like, you're using your mortgage payment, the food that you're going to feed your kids, that budget, you're going to throw it all in there, your gas, everything is all in. It may not work out for you. Meaning that you may not get a sale the first batch of leads that you get. So you just paid $5,000, for example, and don't quote me on these numbers, right? Don't quote me on this. And just really quick, the financial income that I'm stating, whether it's commissions, that's just example. Okay, just as long as you guys understand it. I'm not guaranteeing you guys any income. I'm not guaranteeing you guys are going to get this much amount of leads. You're going to make this much amount of money. Because again, I don't know your skill level. I haven't worked with you personally. So I just want to make that clear. Okay. And also, I don't want somebody reporting me to the FTC. I'm like, oh, James is claiming all these things. I'm not claiming anything. I'm already telling you, you may not make any money. Who else is going to tell you that, right? You may not make any money. You don't want to go all in. Who else is going to tell you that kind of information? Because I want to set you guys up for success. So, meaning that you may not get nothing the first batch of leads. You went $5,000 all in, boom, right? Lead generation companies, boom, gives you all these leads. You have your systems in place. You have your lead management in place. You have solar pipeline there. You're getting leads now, right? Cultivating relationships, building relationships with homeowners, calling them up, starting to plant those seeds. You may get 80 to 100 leads and nothing, no deal. And you just literally went all in, okay? So what happens is, ideally, right? Don't go all in. If it's your last $5,000, ideally, to set you up for success, you should have at least 3 to 4 to even 6 months worth of reserve to run ads. The reason I'm saying is because the first month you may get zero. Okay? This money that you're putting into ads, just think about it as it's gone. Right? If you can't afford to lose $5,000 because you're basically, it's not a gamble, but it's still going to be a gamble. There's a risk, right? There's no ever guarantees. If you hear a lead generation company agency that's giving you guarantees, just run far away from it. There's not any guarantees, right? You guys are grown men and women on here. There's no guarantees in life, right? So meaning that if you put $5,000 in, first month, nothing. Second month, now you're $10,000 in. Second month, how about the second month? Now you close one. Now you got half of your investment back the second month. Okay. Now you're $5,000 negative the second month. But on the second month, you have, say, for example, 160 to 200 leads now. That's a lot of leads. That's a lot of homeowners, right? Potential homeowners. Again, not now, right? They're not ready right now, but when they are, I'm going to build that relationship. Because when they are ready, guess who they're calling? They're calling me. They're calling you because you already have the systems in place. Okay. So imagine now your second month in, you're $10,000 invested into these ad campaigns. You close one, you got half your money back on the second month. You start to see the pattern here. Third month in, now you have 300 leads, for example, right? 300 leads. You close one. Now you're 15 grand in, you're negative 10 grand, but how about if you close two the third month or three? Because now you have so much more leads to play with, right? Now it's starting to snowball on you. The third month now, you're 15 grand in, you close three, right? That month, but the previous month you closed one, a total of 4. Okay, is this making sense? A total of 4. Now you made 20 grand and you're invested $3,000 and now you're $5,000 positive. You see the trend here? Fourth month in, now you have 400 leads. Now you're $20,000 invested, right? You see the pattern? So my suggestion to you, just so you're secure and safe and you're not blowing off all your money, which I know a lot of people do, right? This is like go all in and then they're like, shoot, this didn't work. I don't know how I'm going to pay for my mortgage, my car. I can't put food on the table because you didn't listen to this training. Okay. You're listening to other people that got screwed up as well. And keep in mind, we're in the business of providing leads to our students. Okay. We don't sell leads in the public. It's to our students and to folks that subscribe to Solar Pipeline. You have to be vested within our company as well, right? Whether you're a student or whether you're in Solar Pipeline, right? So we don't just sell it out of the public like other lead generation companies out there. You call them up, you give them some money, and they sell you leads. We're not like that. Okay, you have to be vested with us. So Does that make sense, everybody? I want to set you up for success. And a lot of folks out there, they're out there to take your money. Don't get me wrong, we're in business to make money, but we don't want to just take your money and put you in a worse situation than you were in before you joined us. Okay? We don't want to do that. The last thing we want to do is put you in a worse situation than you were in before you joined us or after you joined us. We put you in a worse situation. Okay? Hey, Angela, how are you? I'm new here, enjoying all the videos, and thank you for these live training. Absolutely. And again, if you guys have friends and family or in the industry, like colleagues, make sure you guys do me a favor, share James the Solar Energy Expert with them, the page, and have them subscribe. And then, like I said, every single day this year, unless there's something happens, maybe I'm traveling. Even if I'm traveling, I'll still go live. I'm going to go live every single day, Monday to Friday, and help you guys. It's going to be at 8 a.m. Pacific, 10 Central, 11 Eastern. Okay. What's going on, everybody? So that is my suggestion to you, right? So ad spend, make sure you have money and you're buying at leads. I can't even like stress and beat that down like a dead horse. And I want that to be ingrained in your head because eventually you're going to go that route. Every single consultant eventually is going to look for leads outside the door, right? They want to sell solar virtually, like our students and what we teach. You want to buy leads. Whether you buy leads from us, whether you take our training, make sure that you ingrain that, like you tattoo it on your arm. I am not buying leads until I have these two things in place, which is basically lead management tool like Solar Pipeline and at least 3 to 6 months worth of ad spend budget. I am not going all in, okay, on ad spend. If you're a single person, you have less risk, okay? So I'm not telling you to not be aggressive. And, if you want to go all in, that's you because you understand that, you know what, even if I lose all this money, I can ask my parents for some extra money, or, I can somehow hustle and sell something and then I'll be able to support myself. But when you have a family like I do, you have bills, you got mortgage payments. I want to just make sure I give you that caution because this is all by experience. I'm aggressive too. I'll go all in too, right? But just learning what I know now, I wouldn't. Okay. And hopefully this makes sense to you guys. So Charlie has a question. Are the leads in Solar Pipeline specifically for that one student? Or other students also have the same leads? So meaning that you're saying that like, is it exclusive? Is that what I'm hearing? Exclusive? Or do they get the same leads, right? Or is it being sold to like multiple people? So it varies. It just depends. We have options for everybody. Buying data, which is cold data, is going to be the cheapest route to get leads, right? When you're buying it. Second, cheapest way to purchase leads is obviously non-exclusive, meaning they're being shared with at least 4 different other solar reps. Like when the lead comes in, it just round robins to 4 other people, right? That's going to be the second cheapest way. And there's going to be 4 of them. The third is basically getting exclusive leads, meaning that you get the data and you're the only one that gets the data. Somebody opts into a form or a webinar, and as soon as they opt in, you get the data right into your pipeline. That's the third way. Fourth way is basically getting the data and also having that data, having somebody call that data, not you, somebody call the data and book a consultation with that data. So a book consultation is going to be the most expensive way to generate leads. Okay. Those are book consultations. It's on your calendar. Somebody booked them for you. So depending on your financial situation, you can choose in these numerous ways on how to generate leads. Okay. Because we don't want to just restrict them like, this is it, right? It's $5,000 and that's it. Or it's just cold data and that's it. We want to give you all the ways, and then you choose, because everybody is in a different financial situation. So some folks don't have the finances right now, go knock doors. Some people have a little bit of finances that they can spare, go buy cold data. Some folks have a lot of money, right? We have another student that actually got a loan, opened up a business. We're helping him create his business. He has a SBA loan, and he has a lot of finances right now. I don't say a lot, but he has finances right now to run ads, and he has a budget, which is cool. So depending on the situation everyone's in, will help. Did I answer your question, Charlie? All right, everybody. So make sure that you guys go check it out, solarpipeline.com. Invest in your business, right? Hey, you're very welcome. Invest in your business. Make sure that you're setting up these systems in place. Even if you're knocking doors, right? You still need solar pipeline. You still need to capture that information. I honestly feel probably that's going to be the most important lead that you're going to get, because you're spending your time at the door. So might as well make that lead as efficient as possible, because I'm spending my personal time. Because when you're buying leads, you could always make more money. You're not necessarily investing your time to generate those leads, right? Versus if you're doing it at the door. So it's even more important to make sure that you have your systems in place when you're knocking doors. And again, solar companies or your sales manager may not be teaching these things, okay? So it's up to you to reinvest back into your business, even if your sales manager doesn't tell you these things, because he's not using it for his business. And if he's not using it for a business, maybe recommend it to him, or have him, join these live training that I'm having every single day, and I'll tell him or her that they need to reinvest back into their business, okay? So 2 call to actions today. The call to action, if you haven't booked your solar strategy call yet, book the call, solarstrategycall.com. If you have more questions, like how to set these things up, right? And then from there, if you're, knocking doors and you don't have a system right now, make sure you check out Solar Pipeline at solarpipeline.com. Okay? Other than that, you guys have an amazing day. Go out there and go smash it. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye for now, everybody. Peace out.